thoughts as well. One is a realization about several dreams that I've had with a group of children. And I was wondering, sometimes it's obvious that I teach these children something.
Yes.
For example, for one time we were in a forest and I was handing them out keys. Every child got a key.
Yes.
And then the most recent dream, they were actually teaching me something, and they took me by the hand and said, let us show you something.
Yes, this is your interactions with the hybrid children.
Okay, that was my question. They are hybrid children.
Yes. You are teaching them the ways of Earth so they can understand how to survive on Earth when they eventually come to live among you physically.
Okay. Is this, am I contributing to the hybrid agenda in this way, or can you tell me more about my contribution?
Well, your contributions have included the idea of genetic material, energy templates, and again, acclimatization teaching. Those are the three main levels of involvement of humans on the Earth that have agreed to participate in the hybridization agenda as part of the evolution of humanity.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Now there's another dream, which was many years ago, but it stuck by me because it was the most amazing dream, where I literally became a whale. And I realized it in the moment, and I was so excited that I took a deep dive first and then, went above the water and splashed and leapt above the water.
Yes.
Was this a moment where I was connecting with Sirius? Was there a message for me?
Well, again, the idea is, yes, there's a serious connection, but also the idea of connecting to the life forms on your planet in a shamanistic way that allows you a broader experience of the way life expresses itself and the joy therein. So you are stretching your shamanistic muscles to be able to start identifying or shifting your frequency of consciousness in a way that allows you to start identifying with other forms of life, especially those that are connected to extraterrestrial connections you have, such as Sirius, through the whales and the dolphins.
Wow, that's really amazing. Coming back to the shamanism, more about that.
Yes.
I've gotten a book about a medicine woman from I hope I pronounce this right, the Diné people, the Navajo
Diné,
people.
yes, Diné, the Navajo, Diné.
Yes. And I opened up the book and there were many photos in there of her people in the 1930s and the 1940s.
Yes.
And I don't know exactly what happened, but I just started crying and I started touching the photos, and it was as if I was looking at relatives. So
yes.
There's a connection there as well?
Well, yes, of course. As we have just explained, the idea of reincarnation is simply that everyone exists simultaneously, but you make connections. You make energetic connections to those beings in different time frames that serve you in this life. So with regard to the idea of your connection to the earth, nature, remember, teaching the children in the forest, the idea of shamanistic experiences, connecting to what you call Mother Earth, you have a very strong series of connections to a lot of American Indian tribes, especially those that were exploring the idea of shamanism and spirit and so on and so forth. So therefore, you have felt the connection when it opened up in your heart that you have made. You have seen a physical representation in photographic form of energetic connections you have made to assist you on your journey in this life in a shamanistic way.
Yes, this was rather new to me, to see the photos and have something happen like that. That was really interesting, to say the least.
All right, well, get used to it.
Yes, okay, I will. One more question that I just came up whilst you were having the monologue.
Yes.
You spoke about our theme a lot recently, well, to me.
Yes.
And the question came to me, is it part of our theme to figure out what our theme is?
Your theme is you. You are unique. It is the idea of exploring everything that comes up as a challenge in your life as part of your theme of exploration. to know yourself as this version of you, as this version of all that is, as best as you possibly can, and express that in your life. Your theme is you, what makes you unique, and the things that come to you that allow you to explore and discover more about who this you is. That's your theme.
Okay, very clear. Thank you
All right.
so much, Bashar.
You are welcome. Good day.
Good day.
Hello, Bashar. This is Kasia from Denmark. I have a question about precursors. In one of your sessions, you were sharing a little bit information about precursors. And just after your session, me and my husband, we went for a walk. And we sit down on a bench and suddenly appear a man who was really observing us. But the way that we both had the feelings that this might be one of the precursors. Can you tell me a little bit about it? And I would love to know a little more about precursors and also how many there are at this moment in Denmark. Thank you very much, and unconditional love to you deeply from my heart. Have a good day. Bye.
They are those who walk among you to see if you recognize, as you did, their vibration as being something different from what you would recognize as typical humanity. So, yes, you observed precursor energy. Not allowed to tell you how many there are in any given location on your planet, but there are definitely dozens around your world. Dozens and dozens. Good day, good day.
Good day, good day.
All right. What would you like to discuss this day?
Thank you, Bashar. I would like to talk about blending and balancing our perceptions and attention. I believe that we are blended beings, and we are constantly finding a balance between our perception of our physical self and our non-physical self.
Yes.
And I'm just wondering how, because moment by moment, my attention is also going from my emotions to my body to my mind. And sometimes I just find there's so many dimensions, and I'm just wondering if you have any advice on how to keep kind of a balance and evenly distributing our attention so that we stay appreciative and inclusive.
You are familiar with the formula that we have outlined for all of you?
Yes, I posted on Facebook this week.
Well, living it is how you do exactly what you're asking to do. It's built into that idea. That's why we give it to you all, because it contains everything you need to maintain the balance and accelerate your vibration in life. All the tools that are attendant to it, all the things that open up automatically when you follow the formula, are the things that allow you to consider anything you need to consider at any given moment to know yourself more deeply and to remain in balance by exploring whatever it brings to your attention at that moment. Do you understand?
Yes, I do. It's a moment by moment being aware and
Yes. So whatever synchronicity brings to your attention at that moment through the tools that automatically unfold when you follow the formula as precisely as possible are the things you need to pay attention to achieve exactly what you're saying.
Can I also ask a question about countries such as India, which I will visit soon, which have a very rich spiritual tradition, and how we might how best to introduce sort of the cutting edge channeled teachings are quite, we're all equally powerful. Whereas the traditions of India, it was much more almost a hierarchy, and the master and the student. Could you talk a bit about how to marry that better?
When the synchronistic opportunity presents itself to share information based on your understanding of these principles, then by all means do so with absolutely no requirement or any need whatsoever that the person you're sharing it with needs to listen to you.
Absolutely. And the ascension process, how might we best describe that to people who are sort of reaching out for that new level of awareness of this sort of overall process that we're all, going away from fear towards love.
Everything is based on resonance and frequency of energy, vibrations. Therefore, the idea of raising a vibration is tantamount to ascension. So it's an ongoing process. And as you again follow the formula and act on your passion, your vibration is automatically raised. And that is a process of ascension.
And when we are co-creating in projects with other people, how best do we sort of, when we're in the planning process of maybe creating a workshop or something about law of attraction, how do we get out of our own way?
Well, what is it that you feel is in your way?
Well, I just feel that I want to be a vessel. I want to be able to just flow moment by moment with anyone that I'm.
All right. However, no insistence. So if something comes up that gets you to focus on something you need to focus on within yourself, then there's a reason for that coming up. And it's about dealing with it and focusing on it and understanding why it's there. That will actually help you flow better, not only with others, but with yourself, because it gives you the opportunity to identify and empathize with others that may be going through their own process as you go through your process. And you will become better at it and a clearer channel as you process whatever it is that comes up that is out of alignment with who you actually prefer to be.
Absolutely, absolutely. And neutrality, we have our passions, we keep our passions, but I believe we're sort of letting go of our preferences. We're having less insistence.
No, you're not letting go of your preferences, but you are having less insistence on the idea that you know what the outcome needs to be of your preferences. Let the synchronicity show you what the outcome actually needs to be. You don't let go of your preferences, but you stop insisting on the form in which your preferences manifest.
Yes. And Bashar, when we're physically in the presence of each other in a spiritual community, I mean, we are all connected on so many levels.
Yes.
And yet when we're physically together,
Yes.
in a meditation group, it seems more powerful, or seems more resonant, or more
Well, yes, of course. You understand the difference between positive mechanical energy and negative mechanical energy. The definition of positive energy is that which expands and integrates and therefore adds to and multiplies in an exponential way. Negative energy disconnects the feeling, as we say, and allows you to experience that isolation, so to speak, in a negative way. Everyone is still an individual, but when you work together in a common cause, you are magnifying and amplifying the general vibrational effect, because positive energy and positive intention goes in that connective direction. Therefore, as you say, it's more than the sum of its parts.
And inclusion.
Yes.
It just seems that we are stepping more and more into including everything, rather than this separateness that we have. We come into this physical reality with this matrix of I'm separate from you, I'm separate from this table.
All right, now one moment. Don't make the mistake of defining separateness as negative.
Yes.
Because there are positive things going on that allow you to experience your individuality. And without the concept of separateness, you would not be able to do that or discover the uniqueness that you are. So it's not about eliminating the concept of separateness. It's about working with separateness in a positive way to validate all the individual uniqueness. And that's what forms the unity that you're seeking.
Yes.
All right.
And do you have any advice for people who are starting new projects about maybe how to tune in to allow the inspiration to
make sure the project is representative of your passion and all the components that go with it? The people must be correct and in line with that idea. Allow yourself to plan without insistence, so that you can be flexible in your plan. Be open to input from others who are also equally excited about the idea of the project, because you don't necessarily know the ideal path. Allow yourself the flexibility to, as you say, include things while not necessarily losing sight of the idea of the project. Look deeper and allow everyone the opportunity to look deeper in why the project is important to them, so that you don't have to get caught up necessarily in individual insistences about what they think needs to happen in order for that to be achieved, but go down to the basics, because on the basic level, you will find that almost everyone involved in the project has the same basic goal of allowing it to be representative of their passion, something they love, something that allows them to be heard, supported while they're supporting. It's again the puzzle pieces that support the whole puzzle picture, allowing everyone to be themselves, to be the shape that they're truly made in, and validated for who they are, so that they can all connect through synchronicity and allow the big picture to unfold naturally, even though it may unfold in an unexpected way. That would be our suggestions.
Thank you. And just my last question: why do we have so many of our, I don't know if you call them, we are all spiritual leaders and teachers, but so many channeled teachings are coming in that form now? Why is that? Seem to be so independent and so kind of showing us that we are all channeling.
Because you have asked all of us to start interacting with you more concretely, more obviously, because you are expanding your consciousness to be more inclusive of those things that you heretofore didn't necessarily know existed or believe existed. That's one of the things that happens when you expand your consciousness. You invite others in from other dimensional realms that can be of assistance to you, and remind you that you have all the capabilities that we exhibit. It's just getting you to believe in yourselves. Does that help you?
Totally. And thank you so much, and much love from Salala in Oman.
Aveo. This information is not forthcoming through this terminal at this time.
Okay. Thank you. Is every, I guess, in time incarnation extension from the oversoul? Sorry, I said that strangely. Every extension from the oversoul that is incarnate, let's say in the same time as you, is that considered a counterpart?
The same time as yourself?
Yes.
That is what we typically refer to as a counterpart, yes.
And so there's no other types of extensions from oversouls that can be incarnate at the same time as you, like they wouldn't be called anything else, I guess is what I'm asking.
You can make up whatever name you wish, but we typically refer to them as counterparts if they overlap your time frame.
Okay. And you've said previously they can be strangers, enemies, family members, friend, anything, obviously, right?
Yes, absolutely. It depends upon what the oversoul needs to experience by creating that extension in an incarnation.
Yes.
It doesn't have to have necessarily any meaning for you at all, or it could have profound meaning for you. It just depends on what it is that's being investigated by that particular extension, by that particular counterpart.
Okay. And if it has profound meaning, then how much of that meaning for us is relevant to the connection to the oversoul? You know, like if something is important to me, if I've connected to a counterpart and that's important to me to express in a neutral and positive way and to have an experience of that nature,
then it's important for the oversoul to have had that experience where the counterparts interact in that way.
Okay. And where they don't,
then that's also simply relevant or not relevant for the oversoul.
relevant or not relevant.
Well, in other words, if they don't interact at all, obviously there is no relevance for them to do so as far as those particular extensions are concerned.
Yes. I'm saying where they interact and the experience is negative.
That can still be very relevant for the oversoul.
And if me as an extension would rather have a neutral or positive experience from what has previously been a negative experience with the counterpart, do I have that influence?
you find relevance as an individual, and when you find relevance as an individual, then there is relevance for the oversoul as well. It's not excluding anything, it's including everything. So the idea of relevance for the oversoul is also relevance for you as an individual soul.
Okay.
Otherwise, it wouldn't happen to you. It would be relevant for some other extension. But if it happens to you, it's not only relevant for the oversoul, but it's relevant for your individual experience as well. Otherwise, it would happen to another extension.
And then naturally, if it persists in being relevant to me in terms of my like core signature or my nature, then it would just naturally or sustainably persist of its own accord, me being myself, them being themselves.
Yes, unless you change your mind about whether or not you wish it to continue.
It's my choice.
It is your choice. That doesn't necessarily mean that you haven't set it up as something that you really do need to do. I'm just saying you always have the option to discount it or dismiss it. That doesn't necessarily mean you shouldn't pay attention to it. I'm just saying you always have the option. Then whatever the result of that particular choice is, will be something that you will also experience that will be relevant for you.
I see. Well, I would like to share in, closing more or less that what I've learned from this counterpart, loving them and learning what love is with them through what has been a spectrum of polarity, but negative, neutral, and positive, is that I used to think that unconditional love was determined by how much you love. But what I learned from and with this person is that unconditional love is more determined by the conditions. Because if the love can't survive the conditions, then it isn't unconditional.
Yes. The idea of unconditional love is simply the frequency of existence itself, and sometimes has very little to do with human expressions that are recognized or called love. So the idea is to understand that it's a state of being that is pure unto itself, that allows for a compassionate relationship to exist in an observational way, regardless of what the actual human interactions have to do with. So it's kind of on two different levels. You can have the unconditional love, which is the pure state of being of compassion and recognition and allowance, while at the same time allowing yourself to recognize that you may have set yourself up for certain conditions and terms and experiences that are not necessarily always expressed through unconditional love, but could be.
Okay. And ultimately presented with this so that you decide what you prefer.
Yes.
Got it. The game is endless.
Yes,
That made me
absolutely.
tear up. So thank you, Bashar.
You are welcome. Thank you. Aveo.
Aveo.